U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack paid a visit to Arkansas and met with farm and business leaders to stress the urgency for Congress to pass a new farm bill this year.
The head of the nation's agriculture department made a visit to the natural state and urged agricultural and business leaders to lobby their members of Congress to pass what he calls the Food, Farm, and Jobs Bill.
Let me just briefly touch on the benefits of getting a bill done. Obviously, the certainty of policy. I've talked to so many producers who've said they're sort of in limbo. They'd like to do more on their farm. They'd like to think about expansion. They'd like to purchase a piece of equipment, but they're just not sure at this point in time that they can commit until they know what the programs are going to be. So certainty of policy would be helpful and a benefit. The resumption of disaster assistance. I will tell you, it is a crying shame that I cannot do anything to help producers who were impacted by drought last year and impacted by drought this year. And the tragedy of what's happening in the Dakotas with the storm that occurred, we've never seen anything like what's happening in the Dakotas. I mean, there are literally thousands of cattle that are dead.
House and Senate conferees are finally meeting to try and iron out roughly 90 differences between their versions of the bill. A major source of contention has been funding for the nutrition title, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. While some House Republicans want to separate SNAP from the overall farm bill, Vilsack said after the meeting that it's vital it remain a part of the final legislation.
We do a poor job at times educating America about what this bill is. We call it a farm bill. Well, it's not just a farm bill, it's a food bill, it's a jobs bill, it's a trade bill, it's a research bill, it's a conservation bill, it's all of that and more. If we did a better job of educating it, maybe we'd have a public that says, hey, this is a priority for us. But we don't, and so there has to be things in that bill that ordinary folks get. They get food assistance because, especially during this recent recession, a lot of families, middle-income families, suffered unemployment for the first time, and they really appreciated that food assistance. And there's still families today that struggle. And so Americans understand that, and so they say, well, yeah, we get that, so that's nice, we like that, and you know, if we have to have this other farm stuff, okay, fine. But if you separate the two, then the farm programs are on their own, and then you have to explain to the other 99% what's in it for us. That's a little harder.
The 41-member House and Senate Conference Committee met for the first time October 30th. The House version calls for cuts of about $40 billion from the food stamp program, which Vilsack says would be a deal breaker. Despite the differences that must be reconciled, he says it's imperative a new 5-year bill be approved by the end of the year.